investigation, we could have dispensed with all this hoopla and, anyway. It was a learning experience for us. It cost the taxpayers dollars. And maybe we'll get the money back. Okay, anything else? All right, entertain a motion.
Oh,
to
oh,
dismiss.
oh, oh.
Oh, sorry.
I have a question, and it's nothing that you all have talked about, but it's related to. Because some of the candidates are employed by the county. Is there an enforcement of they don't come in and do things at the clerk's office for the campaign on their county time when they're being paid? Is there any enforcement? You know, Mr. Liggett is a deputy. Would he, if he came in, at 10 o'clock wearing his uniform, carrying his bat, would that be addressed? And, his treasurer is the EMA director. I just don't know, but it just seems like things are kind of picky right now. And so I wondered what your stance on that was. I mean, it falls to you because you're the one that receives those types of things.
I will say no one has come in full uniform,
Mm-hmm.
The exception of Mike Fincher. He does come with his EMA to turn it, he has come in with that on to turn it in.
So he's doing political business while being paid by the taxpayers.
If he
Maybe.
is on the clock,
Maybe.
he's turning them in, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's his day off, I don't know.
Yeah.
And are county employees required to clock out when they take a break?
Yes.
No.
Because that's a break.
Oh, you break? You clock out?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, you do?
Lunch.
Clock-
I mean, when I talk to Beth, the chair, about political things, we talk on her cell phone, and she many times leaves the building to do that.
Right. She's a real stickler for that.
Because I'm a real stickler
Right.
for the.
She doesn't want to.
No. And when I did the ads that were in the paper this week for the Republicans and anyway, she came over to my house on Sunday, and we did the ads on Sunday
Okay.
because she didn't want anybody to think that she was doing political business on public time.
Right.
So
I often will call her to ask her a question, and I don't get a call back until 5 o'clock.
right.
But I know she's not going to answer. It's in my head.
Yeah.
I need to get it out to her.
Yeah, I get that. So I just wondered if there was any thinking about that kind of thing.
Personally, I think it comes down to their supervisor. I mean,
But
because
he's his
again,
own.
you don't know if that person.
He's his own.
I'm sorry?
Mike's his own,
Well, the commissioners are.
okay.
I mean, it's a department, and that he is their employee.
Yeah, or commissioners for that matter. But
And I don't know how you would handle it, I just wondered if,
at this point, at that point, you're splitting hairs because all that guy has to say is, I was taking a break.
mhm.
Right, and that's.
And if you said that would be one thing, but does he? I mean,
No.
and I don't want to pick on him.
I work
Yeah.
here in the courthouse doing
Mhm.
different things, and I can tell you, they're not working on county business the entire time. They're chatting about this, or they're chatting about that, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it happens. So, on the surface, yes, they shouldn't be doing campaigning
Mm-hmm.
while in their 8-hour period, but did they walk to the clerk's house, or to the clerk's office?
Well, if they came to my house.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
problem. Did they walk upstairs or downstairs and consider that
Yeah,
their break?
I think the only thing you could do is ask, are you on a break or something? I don't know. I don't know if it's up to you to enforce that. But, you guys are, and listen, I gotta tell you, the readers and I appreciate you going over the forms and looking at those types of things. I really do. I mean, that put forth the effort, yeah. Yeah, that's a good
And
thing.
again, I didn't find anything that looked like somebody was doing something wrong. There was a lot of on the wrong line.
Yeah.
Had it right or something like that, so.
And in that spirit, do you think that you'd want to do a training,
Yeah,
like
we
on
discussed that.
on
The other
video?
day,
Yeah,
Sharon mentioned that she'd really like to see a video made.
yeah.
To help with that.
How to do each section
Mhm.
of the campaign because I mean I've
Front
never
and back.
filled one out, but I've looked at them and boy, I'll tell you,
They're terrible.
they just look.
Yeah,
They're
well, and
terrible.
see, on the, well, not on the back.
But you would be good now to do that, Drew, because you've done it. You know, you've looked at it.
And I,
Whether you wanted to-
originally I thought, yeah, I could do that, and then I thought, how would that be perceived, because I'm willing to do it,
Well, I think it's perfect.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, you're the head of the election board. I mean, all three of you could. I think would be perceived as you're trying to help the candidates do the right thing and save time at
Just for
meetings.
the sake of our viewers at home, on the back of every single form are a line-by-line instructions on what you're supposed to put there. So they don't do a whole lot of good if you don't read them, but they are there.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned what I did. I read the instructions.
Mhm.
So,
they don't read them.
I'm a geek though.
And it's nice to have somebody who has a business in too. I mean, you have a
Mhm.
business.
And I took accounting, so, I don't have a degree by any means, it was just a high school class for 2 years.
I did have one other thing, sorry. Sorry, you made me think of it. I was asked if we ever require receipts. If we question an expenditure or,
Yes, I asked just Michelle, I called her the other day to ask if we had the authority to ask for that, she said yes. And so, before you pointed out that 947 was for signs,
Mhm.
and I was going to ask for the receipts to show, what that it just didn't, one said one thing, one said the other thing, and I thought, okay, was this a duplicate entry? So, I was gonna request the receipts just to see for myself.
okay. So going back to the Friends of the Delphi community for the referendum, I went and looked at, obviously we went through the reports. I'm looking at the expenditures and they've got a lot of signs, like lawn signs.
Right.
So I went to that, cause I'm looking at that thinking, that's pretty cheap, cause I bought signs for my campaign before.
They had it done by the graphics department.
Well, if they did that at the high school, that is, against the law. They can't do that. They can't have a school referendum, nothing with the school can touch that. So if they printed those in-house, that's a violation of the law. But they've got something on there for a website for signs. But the sign, I went and looked at that website, cause I'm thinking, well, that's where I'm gonna get my signs next time if I need signs, because that's a
Yeah.
pretty cheap site. Unless they're somewhere else in the community, all the signs I've seen are the corrugated type signs. These are plastic bags.
Plastic bags?
Yeah, like it's like a plastic bag that goes over two individual stakes
Right.
that have a line across the top, and you pull it down over, it's like,
But those are not the signs that are put out.
those are not the signs that are put out. So, again, there may be somewhere else in the community that I'm not seeing them, but the only ones I've seen are the ones that I've purchased in the past and are more expensive than those.
That's all that I've seen too.
And the
So the
stakes,
sign-
and the stakes that they bought are individual stakes.
So those signs that we see around, is there anywhere that says it was the PAC that bought those? I mean, other than that, maybe
I don't know.
PAC bought those and they never used them. because the school had already created support our schools.
So I think we probably need to look into that, because I don't know what's on the bottom of if the school,
It just says the directors and information like that, doesn't say where they were printed.
right, but what, does it say paid for by?
But does that sign even say that it has anything to do with the referendum?
But it is the referendum, it's addressing the referendum, that's why they're out. Save Our Schools is
So, yeah,
for the referendum.
Right.
I have pictures.
Well, I understand what you're saying, and I believe you, but I'm playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
This is what they're gonna say is, all they are is signs about supporting the school. The school can put out signs to support the school.
But there are those that say, vote yes, so. I
Yeah.
guess-
Those
I
are-
think that's two different things.
It's the same sign, one sign, the front says, Save Our Schools, da-da-da-da, and the back side of that sign says, vote yes, or whatever it says. It's the same sign.
Okay,
I didn't realize
well,
that.
and see, that's,
So if the school,
Right.
there's,
But do you all enforce that? Do you police that? I don't
unless there's a complaint,
know,
no, we would turn it over to the prosecutor.
yeah.
because there are many things that have happened.
So if there's a complaint, we would address it just like the previous complaint.
Okay.
But we
would say
can't,
that's
but
not
we
something
can't
that
ask
we
the school
address.
for receipts. Or not the school, I'm sorry, we can ask
Right, the PAC,
the PAC.
so that we can see,
Because
which sign?
because there's different stakes that you buy for different signs. Without drawing a really crude picture here, the signs that I bought, the stakes look like this.
Right.
And your cardboard goes this way, these go into the ground, but you've got this brace point here. The signs, the stakes that they used are individual stakes. So you just have one stake go on one
Now,
side,
you
and there's
said
nothing
used, but
across.
I think what you mean is the ones they bought.
The ones they bought,
Right.
correct. The ones that they need for the signs that they bought, sorry, these are really not very good pictures, but you'll see that is what the stake looks like, because the plastic bag goes down here. And it has to have that support, or the bag's just, yeah. So the signs that they've purchased with and the stakes don't match. You can't use the stakes that they purchased with the signs that they purchased. They will not work.
I think what you're saying is you can't use the stakes that they show on a report
Correct.
with the signs that we see in the community.
No, the signs that are in the community, you can use the stakes on. The signs that they order, you cannot use with the stakes
the
that they
signs they
order.
ordered are in the back.
Everything.
Yes,
Gotcha, okay.
so. I just think we might have a problem. I would like to see the report, or the receipts.
So are you making a motion?
I am making a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
I
Any
seem to
questions?
second a lot.
Sorry?
I seem to second a lot.
Yeah, I don't ever
Why
second.
don't you ever take lead, Sandy?
I don't ever second, because I'm the secretary, so I won't second.
can I ask a question?
Sure.
Was this, you said the school had to turn in a similar thing of their expenses like this regular candidates do?
Not the school.
Not the school, the
There's a
PAC.
PAC,
You're
and
right.
it's not, there are people from the school associated with the PAC, but it's not the school.
It's easy to associate the two together when
Right.
you ask me questions. I stand corrected. However, was that report addressed today, or will that be at another time?
Well, we did look over that report, and until Sharon mentioned it, I never gave.
And
thought
like
to
I
that.
said, that only caught my attention because someone else asked about the receipts. And then I saw the sign amount, and I'm like,
And you're familiar with.
and I'm familiar
what
with the
it's
Right.
sign, so
And I've
the
never
cost,
had
and
a
I'm
purchase
like,
sign, so I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't have any idea.
Yeah, well, and and mine is a recent, purchase, and that's cheaper than I got them prior to all this stuff skyrocketing. I wouldn't even know how much they would cost now, but I bought mine in, late 19, early 20.
So do you have a code that that you would reference to that,
For
that
the
the school
receipts?
can't use
Oh,
school resources for a referendum?
yes, I don't have that,
Okay.
do you happen to know?
Not with me, but
Okay,
it's on my hard drive, and
Can you just email it to me?
you can just Google, but yeah.
So was that report accepted
Oh, well,
then
yeah, I
today?
can do
Is that
that.
what you're saying?
Sorry?
Was that report accepted today? Was that in the second motion or third motion you made? Was it?
it was accepted that we approve that,
Okay,
but I have since made a motion to,
Well, I don't think the report itself is defective.
oh, that's true,
It's
yes.
the actions, it's the use thereof.
okay.
So the report added up, there was nothing wrong with the report, other than the signs we're seeing around the community are not the signs that are on that
Right,
report.
may not be fact. Okay.
Mm,
I just didn't hear it being addressed. I didn't know whether it had been accepted or
Yeah.
whether it wasn't talked about, so, thank you.
We kind of just went over the ones that, when I reviewed, well, we all reviewed them, but
Right,
just the reports that we found issues with are the ones we spent the time on.
that makes sense. Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Sharon?
No.
Okay.
I will find that though, and I will.
I can send it to you.
Okay, I mean, I probably have it at the touch of my finger over
Mhm,
there, but
mhm.
I'm not used to this one.
I think I
At all.
specifically copied the part of the statute that says the things that the PAC cannot do,
Okay.
because that's what I'm looking at. And,
Well, Sharon referenced that the school can't, that's what I'm looking for.
well, and that's it, that's really,
Yeah, the
yeah,
PACT can't use school resources.
That's
to
right.
push the agenda.
Yes.
Or push the referendum.
but it includes the school too.
I mean, I
Because
was
there's
even-
been,
Yeah, I mean, I was, without reading it with a fine tooth comb and having someone actually
So-
address my questions, when they did all the teachers and administrators
Yeah.
and stuff were at a local restaurant promoting it and this and that, I'm thinking, well, I'm thinking that might be right up, but I don't know, because I'm not an attorney, don't wanna be.
well,
Well, I
that,
would think that comes down to just like,
But if they were there on behalf of themselves,
Yeah,
but were
just
they
like the
there on
county.
behalf of the PAC group?
right, well, just like I mean, cause there are board members on that PAC
Yes.
yes,
that are employees of the school, and as individuals, I don't see why they couldn't.
Yeah, see, I don't know where the line can cross, where are you representing you?
Just like a county employee, they
you-
shouldn't be doing PAC work while they're
Correct.
on. So,
Right.
now we're splitting hairs with the school, and that's even a hairier situation than the sheriff's office, so,
I think when you read the information, it won't be nearly as hairy.
okay.
Um,
No,
becau-
I understand that.
Yeah,
But when you're talking about the school,
Mhm.
people get upset real quick.
oh, I know,
So, that's what I'm saying, why I say it's a hairy thing, because
Right,
people are all after they're willing to go after the sheriff's department, but you don't mess with my school.
mhm,
So, just keep that in mind.
yeah. Well, I'm not really going after them, I just wanna make sure they're above board like everybody else.
Okay.
They're held to the same standard as everybody else. I mean, I sent 4 kids through there, I went through there, my brother went through there, my parents went through there, so it's
yeah,
not-
back in the
it's nothing
60s, we
personal.
didn't have stuff like that,
You didn't even have school. did
Oh,
you?
we did too.
Wondering.
I'm a graduate,
You graduated?
from Battleground High School.
Okay. before we attempt this again, any more questions? Okay,
And make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Eleven six.
Mr. Seward, would you restate what your question was for my notes?
You're gonna have to watch the video, what was it? Oh, did the school report get addressed, or was it, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that was in the report, okay.
Something about that, cause I didn't hear it mentioned, so I was asking.
And I know it's confusing, but it's not the school, it's
It's the PAC.
Yeah,
even though
it's easy to do though,
most of those people on the PAC are from the school.
yeah. It's easy to associate that together.